Hello, everyone. My name is Christian. Welcome back to my hobby blog. I'm very excited because I finished book two of The Dark Tower called The Drawing of the Three. And this is a much more exciting book than book one. Book one I enjoyed, I thought it was fun, but it felt more like a prologue to me. And this book feels a lot more like a major book one of a fantasy series or something like that, because there's a lot that happens in this book, and we have the main character Roland sort of drawing in three different people who are very important to the storylines of the overarching Dark Tower story, because these three, including, we have Roland, who is one of the three, and we have this woman who is like the Lady of Shadows, I believe they call her, and then we have the Pusher, who is this guy that sort of resists his fate, and it's something. So each of these three have a connection to Earth, and so these two have a connection to Earth, and Roland, the third one, is able to visit Earth at different times of the world, and is able to sort of interact with Earth, but through their bodies in the sort of world. It's really hard to explain. I didn't really explain that the best, but I really enjoyed reading this book a lot more than book one. Book two was a lot more like Stephen King focused, because we have a lot of Earth scenes in this book compared to the last book. Last book, I don't think had any Earth scenes. There was maybe one mention of Earth. But we have a lot of really great crossovers with Earth because, and I'll try to stay non-spoiler for this. I've kind of talked about what the story's about of this book, but it's not really anything spoilery. But there was just a lot of really cool scenes in this book that I really enjoyed. I think the writing is top notch as well. Stephen King is, I think, a fantastic writer. People always meme on him and about his endings, but I never. To me, Stephen King's never been about the endings. It's always been about the journey, because he writes characters so damn well, and I really enjoy his writing. I really enjoyed reading The Dark Tower, book one, but book two, I feel like, has really made me commit to the rest of the series, because I have the first four books, but I don't have five through seven. And so I was kind of like, if I end up, not liking it and giving up after book four, like, it was not too big of a deal. I don't have to go pick up books five to seven. But I'm happy to say that this book really confirmed for me that Stephen King has a vision, because there's a lot of really cool sort of world building that he does within this book. And I really enjoyed sort of more of the Man in Black sort of bits, because we get a lot more sort of details surrounding him and sort of how he is able to affect Earth and like all this different stuff. And we have some really cool scenes also where we have Roland and some other characters trying to work together towards a goal. And then something completely unexpected happens, which tends to happen in a Stephen King novel. But we have Roland, who is sort of like, he's unable to be independent. In this book, he has to learn how to work with others and sort of be able to work well in a group, because part of his destiny is sort of to become one of the three that this book is titled about, the drawing of the three. They're trying to draw together three of these very important people that fate is sort of setting us up for future novels. I'm not sure where we are going in the series. I don't even know what sort of goes on after this. I vaguely knew about these three characters having to be part of a group, but I'm very excited to sort of read book three, I think, is what people recommend reading first and then Insomnia. So I'm very curious to know what happens in book three, because I've already read Insomnia and I loved it. That was one of my favorite books by him. But I'm very curious to know if, because there's three characters that we meet in Insomnia, and I feel like they are sort of a different version of these three in the Dark Tower. So I'm very curious to know what if I'm correct in that or what. Like I don't know. We'll see what Stephen King has in store, but this was a really quick read too. This is definitely a page turner. Like there was always something going on action heavy wise or mystery or intrigue and all this stuff. And I really enjoyed the writing when it came to Roland and his internal monologue because there's a lot of things that he went through during book one that he's sort of ruminating on and thinking about and sort of having regrets about. And I really enjoyed those sections. I really enjoyed reading this book. This is a much better read than book one. I feel like book one was a great read, but it was more like it feels like a prologue. So I'm very excited to read book three. I know I didn't say as much as I could have said, but I don't really have many thoughts on this book. Like it's just more like, hey, like, it's great. So my rating for this book, I think I'll give it an 8 out of 10. I gave book one, I think, a 7.5 out of 10. But book two was a lot more like felt like more of a book to me than book one, if that makes sense. I hope it does, and I mean that in a nice way. Like I enjoy these books a lot. Like I'm committed now to reading the entire series. But I'm very excited. I'd love to know if anyone else has read The Dark Tower because I don't really know anyone who has. One of the YouTubers I follow, Nerdy Kathy, has read it and she heavily recommended it. And I am very excited to watch her reviews on these books because I feel like I have really like I have a low understanding of Stephen King works because I've only read, well, only have read Carrie, Misery, The Shining, Revival, Insomnia, Dark Tower Book 1, Dark Tower Book 2, and what else? I think that's all I've read by him. I don't know if I say Carrie already, but I'm not going to count it again just in case. But I've read those 7 books now, and I've enjoyed all of them very much. So I'm very curious to know, like, if I will find myself still loving non-Dark Tower books after this. Although I feel like I will, because Stephen King is an author who I feel like hits no matter what. Like, some books may be duds, like, that's fine, but every author has duds, and right now, from the 7 books that I've read, like Stephen King has a lot better track record than a lot of authors that I read, and I would love to sort of talk to people more about Stephen King books, but I don't know. I can never get collaborations to work outside of my friend, my few friends that I have. But yeah, I really enjoyed Stephen King. He's a great author. I enjoy him. So yeah, thank you all so much for watching, and please have a great rest of the day.